But for those of that are a month out from now, we thought it'd be really helpful to like let's think through here. What are all the things that we should be doing right now? What are the things we should be thinking about? And I'm going to, start off by sharing some of my thoughts, things that came to my mind, things that we have written down. But I want to open it up to hear from you guys as well. So a month out, a week out, and then the week afterwards. Those are kind of the three stages we're gonna camp on here. I want to start off first of all, and I shared this with all of our Love Stanislaus County leaders about a week ago. So Sammy, you're going to hear this again, but I just want to start off by saying, be encouraged. That's the number one thing right now, is be encouraged because right now you might be feeling maybe not so encouraged for various reasons. You're a month out, you're like, man, I got a project that just dropped. This project leader is not responding. How come more people aren't signing up? What's going on here? And just it's crazy when an event comes, when a big thing that we're planning for comes, it seems like home life can get really stressful during this time too. Isn't that interesting how that works? So stress is at home, stress is, with people aren't responding and you're just kind of wondering, man, is this even worth it, man? Like, I feel like I want to quit, I just want to say, no, be encouraged because what you guys are doing is you're in the minority. There's 10% of the people in every city that hates their city. There's 80% that are just neutral. You guys are the 10% that are the difference makers, that are ones without you, nothing's going to get done. And whatever we do, no matter what size of city you are, no matter how much, if this is your first year or this is your 10th year, it doesn't, whatever we do is better than nothing being done. Without us, who's going to be out there loving our city, championing this cause like we're doing, and unifying our cities and bringing people together and inspiring churches to get out of their churches? And I mean, who else is doing that? And so be encouraged. Y'all got it? Be encouraged. We can do this. And guess what? There's nothing like being when it comes to that day. It's like I almost feel like when the day comes, even though maybe nothing has happened yet, I feel like I can exhale and go, made it to the finish line. And then the day plays out. Once you release people, go volunteer, go to your projects. It's like, hey, it's done. It's not done yet. But it feels like as a weight off of my shoulders that, hey, we did everything we can do to pull this day off. And God, it's yours. And we just want to, whatever happens, happens. So, I want to start off that way. Now, if you have a piece of paper or your phone, feel free to take some notes here too. Some practical things that you're going to hear on what you should be thinking about a month out. So first of all, I got some random things in my list here. First of all, if you have any speaking engagements the month out, this is often when this happens. Service clubs or churches, or you want to. This is a prime time, and maybe if it's too late this year, maybe next year, plan on usually 2 months out, 2 months out and 1 month out. Or this is where I do a lot of tours and just share with people in front. So speaking engagements lined up. A weekly mass email update. This is where 2 months out, we send an email out, and then maybe 2 weeks later, we send an email out. But a month out, it's every week an email goes out. Hey, y'all, here's what's going on at our kickoff party, or hey, this is some projects that still need more signups. And so whatever, there's all these things we need to communicate to inspire our community. So massively um, weekly mass email to all to your whatever your whole sign up list, not just to your volunteer. You got three categories here. Your volunteers that have already signed up. Hey, have your project leader contacted you yet? Don't forget to do this and don't forget to sign up for this. That's your volunteers have already signed up. Your project leaders, they need an email update, and just reminders on them on the expectations. Are they contacting their volunteers? Are they project leaders? We need you to inspire people to sign up for your project. It's your project. We need you to reach out to people to sign up for your project. And then if you have a mass list of community lists, that's kind of where we want, try to inspire the whole community. This is what's going on, this is what's coming up. So that's email. And I also want to encourage you, if you have texting is an amazing thing because it's 100% open rate. And so we usually send a text out the day when projects go live, March 1. And then a month later on March, at the end of March or beginning of April, we'll send another text out. Then we'll send another text out the week before. So that's a lot. I mean, it's three times. It's not overdoing it, but it's just reminding people, to sign up to get involved. We'll send out, Danielle and I will send out, we got a project leaders expectations sheet and a vendor, if you have vendors expectations as well. So we'll send that out in an email so you can kind of see ideas on what we expect of our vendors and project leaders. If you just verbalize it, things don't always happen. But if you put it in paper, you have a better chance of people following through. Another thing is your core team in place. Your team, you can't do this alone. You got to have some people around you, a leadership team that's pulling off your kickoff party, that's organizing, on that day, before that day, on that day, and after that day. So roles have to be clear on what each person is doing. Reaching out to local media a month out. This is a good time to start your local newspaper, maybe magazines or whatever your local media looks like. It's a good time a month out for them to do a story on this and say, this day's coming, sign up, be a part, be involved. Are all your large signs and posters up around town? A month out, they should all be up by now. Let's get the word out. You don't want to go too much before a month out because then it just blends into the landscape. But a month out, all your signs, posters should be up. It's full on marketing push time. A month out, it is full on go time, marketing wise, social media wise, posters, like I said, the signs, whatever you can do to get the word out. I often text people I know and say, hey, can you put this on your social media, copy paste, kind of have kind of a saying, what to say. Here's an attachment. Yeah, I'm just thinking any way possible to get the word out, get the word out. Something really important to me is that we promptly answer questions from volunteers or from the community or from project leaders. Let's be known as an organization that is really responsive, that is really communicative, because we will stand out among others when we do that. I think that's what's so frustrating from people when they don't get good communication back. If they're trying to sign up and it's not working, everyone's busy. Everyone has like, forget it, but no, we want to be super responsive to people. Do you have a toolkit that you give out to churches or others? I also have a prayer list I give out to my church leader friends. Just say, hey, this day's coming up. I need you all to be praying. And here's a toolkit of marketing things that you can share at your church in front of your congregation. Um, the bottom line is there's no way one person can do this alone. It's all about having a great team and dividing up responsibilities. And I've learned over these years, like somehow we get about 50 people, more than that, 75 people that show up at 3:30 in the morning on that day to help set up, to get things. There's something about this when it becomes an annual day, people just buy into this, like, and having an amazing team that you can celebrate and appreciate and do it together with. It's so much fun. So, all right. So that's a couple ideas and thoughts. 1 month out, this is what you should be doing. This is what you should be thinking about. First of all, do you have any questions or do you have some added things that you do in your city that's really important that we all can learn from you on what we should be doing a month out?
This is such a great fire hose of information. But I think just kind of echoing what you're saying, Jeff, is like this is the marketing month. Like if you like this is the time you have any of those last bits of posters or signs, or like you said, I love bringing the churches in, or just literally friends that you're texting like, hey, get on board. So just kind of echoing that in this 1 month out, all like your marketing is set to go. So I just kind of wanted to reiterate that. Um, yeah, and then I'll leave it for everyone else.
You're obviously projects should pretty much all be together by now, right? But I still think it's really a cool thing. I'm speaking at church this Sunday, and one of the questions they want to ask me is like at last minute, any final needs that you have And I'm going to say, you know what? It's not too late. If you have a project idea, if you know there's a need in our community, maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's someone at work, but there's this need, let's get it up. It's not too late. So I like to have projects done way ahead of time, but you know what? It's okay to add them even up to the time.
For me, I've been doing a lot of outreach. I've been to a lot of like city events. I've been to a lot of businesses, Costco, Home Depot, Galaxy, setting up tables, trying to get volunteers, trying to get our name out there. A lot of visibility. Social media is a big one. I'm trying to post something at least every single day. Stories on Instagram. I did a Volunteer Central, the app. So I did that last night so that people are aware of the app. And then two, I'm really lucky I have a good relationship with the city. So I've been able to utilize them to be able to like post our event like on city websites and like, city social media as well. So that's really what I've been trying to do and it's working. I already have 130 people signed up. Last year total, they had 173 and we're still a month out. So I'm seeing the payoff. Like I'm seeing the numbers come in. So I'm really happy about that.
That's awesome, Sammy. Someone else. If you're a month out, what else are you doing that could be helpful that we could learn from you about your project or about your big volunteer day coming up?
I think you covered it for the most part. The only thing I could think of was I don't know how y'all handle all of this, but the last minute, like gathering all the insurance and liability stuff is also something that's not my favorite thing, but it has to be done.
Don't worry about insurance and liability. Blah, it's overrated.
Get
Right,
out of here,
Sean?
Jeff.
As a,
Get out
yeah,
of
it's not a big
here.
deal.
You're not allowed to say that.
Well, I
I'm
can't say that.
kidding.
Hey, good news is in 17 years of doing this, there hasn't been one issue, one, yeah, one, any issues at all. And we still have had insurance, by the way, every year, and we still do the liabilities, the waiver forms, and all that kind of stuff. Any questions? Sam, you brought something up about that, didn't you? About, oh, the day of. What do you do when people show up and
Yeah,
sign up online, right?
yeah. So just to preface this, this is my first year. And I think, a very organized person. And so I kind of already have how I'm going to set up the sign in. However, I would like to know how other cities, um, what their process or your best practices are for those people who are showing up the day of and wanting to sign up. Do you guys use like paper applications and you input the information in at a later time into the system? Do you guys use like a QR code? Because that's what I was thinking, like putting a QR code up on like signs and then having people, use that. But then I'm thinking, okay, well, I still have to verify that we have a waiver on file for them. So I'm just kind of wondering like what your guys' best practices or your procedure for signups the day of.
Sarah Abrams, can I put you on the spot to answer that? Because I know Ventura does a really good job. Or at least you guys have a good system in place for how you close registrations and do all of that day of. Sorry, I totally am putting you
Sure.
on
No,
the
totally. Allowed to share what we do. So we close all registrations 48 hours in advance. That way there's no changing rosters or anything like that. Everything's already done. And then we can evaluate every project on how many more we can take volunteer wise. And we always account for dropout of people that don't show up or whatnot. And then what we do is we have a specific tent for people who haven't shown up or who haven't pre-registered. So the morning of, we have people wandering around and they've never signed up. They are directed directly to one tent, and that has the master rosters. So they are going and they're chatting with our team there to determine what projects are available and what they want to sign up for. And then they are signing up on the spot there. We take their basic information, pen and clipboard, and just do it that way. It's faster. Technology sometimes you're just dealing with issues. So we take it all pen and paper, and then they sign a wet copy waiver on site there. And then once they're signed up with us for their particular project, then we send them to the project table tent to touch base with their project leader to get all the particulars of what they need to know for that day. And then afterwards, we have an awesome team of 2 volunteer ladies who help us throughout the year, adding in all of our admin stuff. So they're just our data entry gals, and they go in and they'll add them in on the back end.
And then you're going to want to keep those hard copy forms for a year and just keep them off the side. Just who knows, just in case. But after a year, you can shred them.
Yeah, we scan them in, so we have a digital copy,
Okay.
and then we keep them physical for a year, and then we get rid of them after that. So
Thanks for jumping in, Sarah.
All right,
Okay,
let's move on.
Quick question.
Go ahead, Nathan.
Or a quick question on the waivers. I know that over the years it's been hard copy, but when they sign up online, there's a digital copy. Is most of us or most of the group have a hard copy like that also? In addition to when they sign up, they are signing the waiver?
No, I mean, there's no need. The waiver online is it protects us, right? Now there are some projects, if they're with an organization, they might Habitat for Humanity or Salvation Army, whatever, they have their own waivers too to protect them. And that's good. Some do it, some don't. We don't, it's up to them what they want to do. But the waiver we do, you don't need to do another hard copy waiver. If you want to, you can. Doesn't hurt, but it's a logistical challenge, I would think. Since they already did it online, why do it? Why do another one? All right, let's do this. You're a week before now. You're on Monday before Saturday, the big day. What should you be doing? Well, first of all, Monday is a good time to reach out again to your local media, your TV, your radio, to cover on Saturday. And this is like, and radio wise, hey, this Saturday, this is it, sign up, But I know TV people, they don't care about, TV was way bigger than it used to be, but it's still a big deal. But they always tell me, don't let us know the week before. Too many stories, but on Monday is a perfect time to give us a heads up to see if we can come down and cover the event. A reminder email, text, and call to each vendor, each project leader, each volunteer. I would also say a call. We've done the last couple of years is personally, we have a team or a couple people that call every single project leader and kind of say, hey, don't forget this, do this. It's kind of a script that we give them to do this, and to call every vendor, because again, every year it seems like there's a project leader or two that don't show up. They don't, but we used to have more. So when we make the call, it reinforces the text, the email, everything we're trying to do to say, please be on time. This is where you're supposed to be at. Don't go to your project, come here. So having it makes it call wise, you just leave messages basically too. But I know that's been really, really helpful. Again, promptly answer all questions from volunteers. There's a lot of questions that last week, a lot of things change. And then you have a project leader, hey, I can't do it after all because I got what? Now you're volunteer, you got all these people signed up for your project. Every year that seems to happen. And you know what? You just got to reach out to those volunteers and say, hey, I'm so sorry, but here's all the projects that are open, and try to lead people that way. I want to say that last week, best as you can, rest well. Try to at night, don't give your mind, I'm the worst at this. Even last night, my mind's going, all these things I got to do. It's like, stop it, go to sleep, but rest well. I love going to like a local park or somewhere to walk and rehearse what I'm going to say on that Saturday, in front of on the stage, in front of the crowd. It's a good chance just to get out of the office or out of just my normal routine. And that just has given me so much peace, and just praying and God help me. And I think that has been just something that I've been doing for a number of years now, been really helpful. And then obviously, Sarah just talked about closing the registration. If it's 48 hours, if it's 24 hours, if it's 12 hours, whatever, having your registration closed, and print off those sign-in sheets. Those sign-in sheets are amazing. And they gives you the roster. You can give those to your project leaders when they show up, so they know And then you kind of have more of an accurate account of who showed up and who didn't show up. And those that didn't show up to sign the waiver, I want to give waivers to those project leaders too. So they can sign them up, make sure they're covered because even though they didn't sign up. So that's what I'm thinking. A week before the event, you got to have all your banners, by the way, all your banners, your sponsor signs. I would just say 2 weeks before your event, try to have all your banners, your signs, because there's going to be some mistakes and you might have forgot something or double check, triple check to make sure you didn't forget a sponsor and you didn't forget a project, so having all that 2 weeks ahead of time, then you have time to make changes, go back to your print shop and make changes that are needed. All right. Any feedback on or any questions or any ideas? What else are you doing a week before the event?
We don't have a kickoff in the morning, so we distribute packets to the project leaders. They come to us the week before a certain set time, several days throughout the week, and so they come to us and pick up their packet with their printed roster with instructions for the day. We do business discounts, and so volunteers get a sticker, so it's all their stickers, a yard sign, all of those things. They come to us, all the project leaders. Or we deliver if they can't make it.
Gina, we've talked about that before on how it's kind of your way of seeing like that project leader is really in it if they're actually going and picking up their packet and I think it's a really unique way to really just be like, are you doing this?
Right.
And it seems to have just really worked well for you guys.
Yeah, when we first started doing it, I was looking at it like, this is so much work. Why are we doing this? And I thought the end result was the packet, the information we were giving them. And then after we started doing it, I realized it was, I am looking you in the eyeballs and saying, you have volunteers coming to you on Saturday. Are you ready for them? That's honestly the more important part than what we put in their hands.
No, I think we need to incentivize a little bit, don't we? Like this year, we're giving away a free T-shirt to every project leader when you show up. You got a free pancake breakfast as well when you show up. I mean, we say we need you here at 6:30 in the morning to come. I mean, so I think it's important. Yeah, and then you have some time when they don't show up. You have more time, but if you do it the morning of, at least you got a little bit of time to call them. Where are you? We need you here. Yeah, project leaders are our greatest joy and our greatest challenge at times. Oh boy. Okay,
We
a week before.
love them so much.
Yes.
I wanted to add to something that you may have not seen yet. So on the check-in sheets, we did add if a user has their phone number, that is also on the check-in sheet as well. So it's phone number and email, which makes it really nice for project leaders too. Just like that morning, even once like this could be an added thing. They get there to your site or whatever, and then you tell them, hey, send a quick text reminder from that project leader, and I think it is a lot more personal, but just an added way of communication from you guys, from the project leaders. But that is on the check-in sheet now.
So everything we're talking about, or at least most things, if it's not, we're going to add it. It's on the City Leaders resource page. And so if you don't know what I'm referring to, you got to let me know, let Danielle know, because we prepared this page for you to give all kinds of examples and ideas and website training and marketing ideas. And you're a week out, all that stuff is on the City Leaders resource page too. But we thought it'd be good to talk through it here and maybe add some other ideas to that page to keep that page up to date. Okay, we're almost done. Now the event's over. Okay, woo, we're done. Go on vacation, get out of here. Absolutely not. Just because the event is over doesn't mean the event's over. The next week of follow-up and follow-through is as important as the event. If we drop the ball the next week, man, this event won't be near as successful looking back on it. So we got to follow up well. So on that Saturday, even though the big day has just happened, the big morning, still on that Saturday, here's what we need to be doing. We need to have a social media person who is posting throughout that morning. Hey, the stage is going up. Look at downtown. The sun's come on downtown. Even if you haven't signed up yet, come on. I mean, the social media is just humming that morning. And then throughout the morning, going to projects, taking photos, sharing videos. And then throughout the day, we still use that hashtag Love Modesto. So if you go there, you'll be able to see everyone what they're posting. And we share their post throughout the afternoon, throughout the night. We're just trying to like make this thing as viral as possible and just getting the word out on that. Also, Saturday at noon, we have an email already scheduled, ready to go for all volunteers, a survey email. How was your morning? And so it goes out Saturday at noon, and we try to get that and thank them. And we prepared it ahead of time, so we don't have any data yet, but we still want to get them to get that why it's fresh on their brain to get that survey response. Also for project leaders, we have a survey email for them as well. And then on Sunday, we send the project leaders the survey email again to say, hey, we need your response. It's fresh on your brain. What did we do well? How can we improve? We have all these questions. Maybe I can put that in the email as well. Some examples of survey emails. On Monday, we resend the volunteer email. Hey, if you haven't filled out the survey yet, please. We got a couple days where it's people's fresh on the brain to fill the survey email. Also on Saturday, all your large signs that have your date, they need to come down. It's not cool for the next day if the date is passed for your sign to still be up. If you have to, you have to, but don't go beyond a day though. People in the city will get cranky about that, and it doesn't look good. It doesn't look professional if an old date is still up around town. On Monday, man, Monday is responding to all the positive things that have happened, and it's responding to all the challenging things that happen. It's cleaning up. And project leader wasn't there, or he didn't follow through. I'm ticked off. I never want to do this ever again. I mean, there's those they're not many of them, but they do come through. It's also thank yous to your core team, to the project leaders, to the vendors, to the sponsors, and others. And it just kind of gather as much as possible. What did we do well? And how can we improve, for next year? Um, Monday, it might be some initial evaluation meetings, but you don't want to have too many evaluation meetings to all the responses as much as possible as come in. Does that make sense? Like, I know right away, I want to evaluate, and we can some, but usually I wait till around Thursday when we got about all the data that's in that we need to have in. And then Thursday, we have some really good evaluation meetings. So basically, in a week, we want to try to put a bow on it. Sometimes it goes into the following week, but try to put a bow on it, after a week. On Tuesday, mass email goes out celebrating the data, pictures, media coverage. On Thursday, the Celebrate video goes out. So if you have a videographer that's doing the whole video, you got to give that person some time to edit the video and put it all together. But that's like a Thursday. So basically, I just know in 1 week, people have moved on. That's just how it is in life. After the event, people move on. So we got about a week to really celebrate this thing, ride the wave, like crazy for a week. Okay, so how about you? You're the week afterwards. What else are you doing, or what questions do you have about what I shared?
Are you going to be providing that schedule to us by email, or is it going to be posted to the City Leader website?
That Saturday, Monday, Tuesday?
Yeah.
That might be in our city leaders.
Okay.
If not, Danielle and I will work on getting that out.
Okay. And then on some of those emails, are we responsible for sending all those emails, or are some of those coming from Love Stanislaus County to all the volunteers?
Every city is responsible for your own city.
Okay.
With Love Stanislaus County, it's a little different in our unique situation. We send out a monthly newsletter, but we don't send out emails in between. That every city does their own emails.
Jeff, I think my question, more maybe for the group too, is are there any specific bits of data that you guys look for as far as those post-event surveys? Jeff, I know we have a couple examples, but just, getting the brain flowing here for everyone. What are those pieces of information that you're looking for? Is it like, did you have a good time? Or is
Yeah.
it, I would say explain that a little bit more, or think about it.
So I think I need to look the surveys up again because it's been a year. But I think we'll put those out, what we've done, and it is more than just did you have a good time. There are some more specific questions. I like even marketing. What compelled you to sign up? Was it the large signs? Was it the at your church or your business, or just getting some information there? Questions about your project leader. How would you rate your project leader? And were they communicative? Did you show up? Were things prepared for you? Do you feel like your time was worth it? I mean, so just getting some that kind of detailed feedback, I think but I need to look at these again.
Sorry, I put you on the spot then.
No,
Tell me exactly what
hey,
that
I'm a
says.
month out. I'm a
No.
month out, so I need to get these surveys dialed in. But
I
I know
have my,
go
oh, I
ahead.
was just say I have mine pulled up right now. I could go through a few things that we have
Go for
asked.
it.
So how would you describe your overall experience? How much of an impact do you feel like it had on the target need? And then a rating system, the organization, the communication, from your project leader and from overall the volunteer experience. How likely are you to continue a long-term relationship with the organization where you volunteered? And then we do the business discounts. So we just ask if people took advantage of those. How likely are you to participate in the future? And then story, there are a few more details, but then also, would you like to tell a story? We use this for our impact reports. And so we also ask people like, hey, can you tell us about your experience? And we bribe people to get to do the surveys. So there are a couple of ways that we give out the information. Again, we also do the business discounts. So businesses around the city are offering discounts for food, coffee, whatever. And so on our day, so with those stickers, with that packet of information, the project leaders have stickers to give their volunteers as well as a tiny business card. On one side, it has a QR code that goes to those business discounts, and on the other side is the link to the survey. And then we tell people, like, if you want this to be anonymous, it can be an anonymous survey, but if you'd like to get into a drawing for free merch, then include your email address. So we kind of bribe them, and we do give those out that day. So, encouraging them to do that survey. We do the email scheduled as well, so they get it digitally, but also a copy that day, so it's in their hand.
I did forget, you're right. We bribe them as well. We have Starbucks cards or Chick-fil-A cards, whatever the cards that so one lucky winner is going to get, the survey, whoever fills it out, someone's going to win this. That's a way. And that does help, by the way. It totally helps to have a gift card. Gina, can you send that to Danielle and I, your survey? Because we'll put that out in the email out as well. I think that those are basically kind of it's very similar, I think, what we do too. So that's really good. Anyone else? What do you do after the event, the week after, the days following the event? Any other ideas that you could share what your city does?
I think I'm going to send out a survey to our sponsors or our partners because I'd like to know how well we did, if we met their expectations, if we went above and beyond, if we were lacking, if they
Great
would
idea.
like to be involved next year, if they would like to be involved with us like continuously throughout the year and not just like, the one time, the one, city volunteer day. Because that's one thing that I am proud of is that I have been able to develop really good relationships with some of our bigger businesses. But I'd like to extend that to our smaller businesses as well. But I think gathering that data from our sponsors and our partners would be very crucial in next year, reaching out or throughout the year.
Great idea, Sammy. Really good.
Something else we do the week after is communicate with churches and let all of the churches know how many people chose their affiliation and went to the project. So I export that list and do a lot of work with that data. Like I spend a lot of time with our volunteer, like sorting and organizing and who checked that they were from a business, who checked that they were from a church, what percentage came from churches, what percentage of volunteers came from businesses, and some pick none. But I like sort and manipulate that data a ton and then send it back. Our churches are very, very interested in knowing how many of their people went out and where they went. A lot of them want to know, like, where did my people go?
Gina, that is so good. You mainly use that data for businesses and sponsors. Getting back to sponsors, so, hey, Sutter Health, do you know that you had 56 people that identified, or whatever the number is? And that's probably minimum, by the way. Not everyone does that. They might not choose the affiliation, or there might be other people involved. So I say that's a minimum number, but thank you so much. Because they're like, really? We had that many people sign? And that helps sponsorship wise too, to say, well, okay, they're getting their money's worth if people are getting involved. So yeah, that affiliation data is gold.
I've seen that too with churches. Sometimes it's like, what? That many people? And then others it's, man, we really should have had more. And I think that kind of puts a little fire under the butt a little bit
Yeah.
sometimes, which has been great. I end up using a lot of that data like in our annual report, just with those affiliations, very similar to Gina and
Yeah.
who came from businesses, who came from churches. And so that's really helpful to have that.
No, that's really good. All right. Anyone else? What do you do the days afterwards? Take a long nap on Saturday afternoon, probably. And Sunday, I hear from some of our city leaders, they go to a church called Bedside Baptist on Sunday morning. And I'm not encouraging that. I'm just whatever you got to do. But yeah, it's a weight off our back. There's a heaviness that's involved. It's amazing. It's worth it. But you all know it's taxing. And so, all right. Let me ask you, we got a couple minutes left here. Are you, anyone stuck on anything right now? You can't figure something out. You just need some advice or some input on, your day coming up here. Are you stuck anywhere that we could help you with?
I just have a question about this year with Easter being April 20th. What is that doing for the rest of you all with your churches and their advertising?
Yeah. I'll say from our end, we're a backseat. Um, and as we should be, in a sense. Easter's Super Bowl, And so I don't know who plans these Easter dates. They move around every dang year, but we need to find that person and talk to them. Like, keep it in March, keep it away, get it earlier. But yeah, for this year, how late is Easter? Like, what was it going to be in May next year or June, or what's the deal? But you're right, it is. Yeah, churches are promoting Easter, volunteers and everything they need, and good for them. So I think we're going to be, yeah, church involvement is not going to be as much, I don't think. I could be wrong. Who knows? We'll see. All right. Anyone else? Jay, give us a final good word.
Final good word.
Yeah.
Everything that you said is really true. It's an exhausting event. There's so many details and it's a heavy load. But the fruit of consistent year after year engagement really does yield a lot of fruit in the long-term relationships.
Yeah.
And I sometimes get to the end. I think, oh man, was it worth it for all this work? Was it worth the time that it put in? And I can't always answer that question early on, but the result later is really amazing. From our organization, the benefit that's come just getting our name out there. People knew us when we were early, brand new organization. So yes, it pays off, and it's a lot of work, but we're participating in the work for the kingdom of God as we do this in Jesus' name, and that He takes joy in that, and so do we.
Awesome.
That's it.
All right, y'all. Have a wonderful day. Danielle and I are going to hang on afterwards if anyone else wants to share or any more questions you have. And have a wonderful day and have an incredible volunteer day coming up here. I can't wait. In May, next month, we're going to celebrate. We're going to have just our whole time is it's going to be, we're going to hear stories. We're going to read stories from our volunteers or just your stories, any pictures or videos you have. We're just going to celebrate like crazy in May. So, all right, y'all, have a wonderful day. Oh, man. Danielle, did it record? Oh, it recorded on your end? It's not
I
recording.
recorded it. Yeah, don't
Okay.
worry.
Mine is saying it didn't record. I thought it would sync with each other for some reason.
Hey, Jeff, can I jump in real quick? And Danielle,
Yes.
I think we're ready to launch our